Watch Whimsy. Like. Subscribe. Ring that bell. Hi there, I'm Katie, and this is Watch Whimsy, where I review wonderful and wonky women's watches in a variety of price ranges. First of all, wristwatch check. I am wearing my Citizen J710 S097606. And yes, I was reading that off a piece of paper because I suck at numbers, as I have told you many times before. Today, I am very excited to be showing you a watch that I wear on a very regular basis, my orange Breitling Superocean Automatic 36. Reference number A17316 D7101A1. Yeah, that took several takes to get that all in. That took several takes because once, yeah, it's just, you're going to have to forgive me for my lack of memory for numbers and letters all together, strung together. It just, my brain doesn't work that way. Breitling opened in 1884 by Leon Breitling, and they specialized in chronographs for science and industry. In 1915, his son Gaston Breitling made the first chronograph wristwatch and the first wristwatch for pilots. Over time, they became the official supplier for the Royal Air Force, created a watch that can handle all calculations needed for a flight plan, the Navitimer, which is still in existence today, invented the self-winding chronograph movement, and had a watch orbit the Earth in space, the cosmonaut Navitimer. After Rolex and Omega came out with their divers in the 1950s, Breitling decided to come out with their own in 1957. You guessed it, the Superocean. At the time, they blasted their competition out of the water. Omegas went 62.58 meters, Rolexes went 100 meters, and Breitling's went 200 meters deep. The first 36mm Superocean was released in 2019, but only in the light blue and white colors. Last year, in 2020, is when the orange one came out, and coincidentally, I got mine in December of 2020. Now, let's get this out of the way. If you've watched my video about why women don't like watches, one of the things I talk about is that the watch industry tends to shrink men's watches and say that it's a woman's watch, when in fact, all they've done is create a unisex watch. So what am I saying here? I'm saying that this watch, despite being claimed as a woman's watch on the website and being designed specifically with women in mind, is not a woman's watch. It is a unisex watch. Doesn't mean that you can't wear it, obviously, because I wear it and I love it, but it will also fit a man's wrist finely if it is a thin wrist. Let's look at the comparisons between the 42mm orange Breitling Superocean and the 36mm orange Breitling Superocean. There really aren't very many differences. The men's Breitling Superocean will go 500 meters, while the women's will go 200, and I would imagine the difference there is probably because of the size, though I can't be completely sure on that. Another difference is that at the 3, with the 42mm Breitling Superocean, there's a little tiny speck of an index at the 3, whereas with the 36mm, there is not an index there at all. And the other difference is that the text at the bottom on the 42mm is black, and the text at the bottom on the 36 is in white. Clearly, these are not enough differences, in my book at least, to qualify this as a brand new watch designed specifically for women in mind. The fonts are the same all around the watch for the numbers. The indices are identical. The lume is identical. The hands are identical. The crown is identical. The appearance is identical. The knurling is the same. It's not enough to make this a woman's watch. I'm very sorry, Breitling. I love your watches, and I love this watch, but this is not a woman's watch. All right, so let's talk a little bit about the box. Before I show it to you, I want you to know that they no longer automatically offer all of what I'm about to show you. I'm going to go ahead and roll a little commercial they have on their website right here while I talk. They've decided to help the environment by rolling back exactly what they do for their boxes. They are starting to use a different material, a lot less material. The pillow inside now doubles as a pouch. Quite honestly, I really don't like the appearance of the new box. Now, if you'd like to have all the bells and whistles of the original box, you just simply have to request it. They do want for you to voluntarily give a donation to Sugi, though. Sugi takes your donation and they use it to, quote, restore biodiversity and regenerate ecosystems. When you get your Breitling Superocean, this is the box that it comes in. From experience, my husband also has a Breitling, and his box is exactly the same. The whole package is exactly the same. I'm not sure if that's how it is for all Breitlings or if it just happens to be the way it was for the Navitimer and the Superocean, but there is that. Now, this is what your watch will actually come in, which is really nice because it's a little watch roll that's big enough for one watch. That thread hanging there was not there when I first got it. It's just happened with use because I do use this watch roll. When you open it, this is what you're going to see. As you can see, the pillow is a little small for the box, but that's all right. Also, inside the box, you will have any links that needed to be removed. Mine also had this branded bezel cover and your little Breitling tag, the instruction booklet that I never read, and the warranty. I'm now going to go ahead and switch over to watch view so we can see the watch close up and so I can get a little bit more specific about it. There it is. Look at that beautiful sweeping hand. And I haven't even wound this. It's been sitting for a couple days since I took pictures. I have it on the bracelet for this review so you can see kind of how it comes, but I regularly use this NATO strap with it. It's a cheap one. We got it at Fossil. It just so happened to match really well with the watch. So that's what I wear it with. It has this clasp right here. And you put down this side first and then this side. You can see the Breitling logo there with Breitling 1884 on it, which is their founding year, as I said a little while ago. Since we're back here, let's go ahead and take a look at the back of the watch. I got some good macro with this, so while it's hard to see here, we can switch over and you can see that. You can also see that on the clasp, it says Breitling on the inside there. The back of the watch has the Breitling logo once again, Breitling 1884, and Superocean written in the same font as on the front. You can see the reference number, how deep it goes, and that it is a certified chronometer. This watch is 36 millimeter, as is implied by its name, and the strap is going to be 18 millimeters. In the date window, you can see that it is white, and that the font in there is also clean and neat, along with the font on the watch itself, clean and neat and beautiful. There are numbers on the chapter ring at every 5 minutes and every 15 minutes on the bezel. The hands are pretty simple, just straight. And then you see that sweeping arrow that is red at the tip. There is quite a bit of lume on this watch at the numbers and indices on the dial itself and on that little circle right at the top. It's nice and bright, and if you choose to wear this at night, as I often do, you will still be able to tell the time several hours later in the middle of the night when you're groggy and can't really tell which way is up and which way is down. On the crown, you can see the B for Breitling. It is a screw-down crown with 2 caskets, and I will demonstrate how that works now. To unscrew it, you are going to turn it toward you. until it pops out like that. And then to set it, you're going to pull out once and turn away from you to do the quick set date. And then again to actually set the time. And as you can see, this has a hacking second. The hacking second makes sense because it takes pretty good time. It is the Breitling 17 movement, and the time grapher read it at 332 degrees and plus 4 seconds per day. It has a 38-hour power reserve and goes at 28,800 BPH. It is based on the ETA 2824-2 movement, while this beauty, my specific watch, performs at plus 4 seconds per day on the time grapher. This movement is rated to perform at -4 to +6 seconds per day. To set the time, you're going to turn it toward you, and that will make it move. Now, I will once again share a tip that I like to share on videos with date windows. When you are setting the date, if your watch has been sitting for a while and has not been on a winder, you want to go ahead and wind it all the way around until the date window clicks. That way, when you set your watch, you know that you are in the AM. To lock it once again, you are going to push in and screw away from you until it doesn't move anymore. There you go. Nice and in there. The bezel is unidirectional, and it has a nice click here. That bezel sound is something my husband absolutely loves, and I gotta say, I love it when it is the proper sound as well. I was messing with a watch the other day that the bezel didn't make any sound at all, and that was very sad. You can kind of see that purple reflection of the light. That is the anti-reflective coating that is both on the outside and the inside of the crystal. While it might get some tiny scratches, it will only be visible if you are looking at it really up close. And you can see by the macro that you can't even see any scratches on it right now. And I'm sure that they're probably there because I'm a massive klutz and I wear this watch all the time. Now, my advice is that if you do get some tiny scratches that you can't see with the naked eye, just deal with it. If you can't see it, just deal with it. Because my husband noticed some tiny scratches in the anti-reflective coating on top. And instead of dealing with it, we decided to take it to our local AD to have them take a look at it. In the end, we ended up sending it to Breitling, and they decided that rather than just replace the crystal, they were going to do a full-on check on it and just do everything to keep it up to par. We ended up getting the watch back like 2 months later. And let me tell you, when it's a watch that you wear all the time, not having it for 2 months is excruciating. But it did come back beautiful, and it came back in excellent condition. So I have no complaints there. I just wish it hadn't taken 2 months to get it fixed. That's all. Right under the 12 there, you can see the Breitling logo and Breitling 1884, as is all over the place on this watch and the box. At the bottom, you can see that it says Superocean in some pretty cursive type font, chronometer, and 200 meters / 660 feet for those of us in America. I'm going to go ahead and switch back to regular view so that I can talk to you a little bit about the availability of this watch. Now, back when I got this watch in December, it wasn't very difficult to find. And I'm not really sure if that is still the case or not. I do know that at the few times I have been down to my local AD recently, and the times I've been at Vegas over the last year, I have not found it very often. That's not to say that it's not available, or that if you ask your AD, he or she might not be able to find it for you or get it for you. I'm just saying that you might not get it the same day. With the bracelet, this watch runs at $4,100. And if you decide to get it with the rubber strap, that would be $3,600. I actually really like this strap. I don't have it. So I might get one at some point, see how that goes instead of maybe my NATO, maybe when this NATO runs out because it's cheap and will probably not last for too much longer, I'll get a strap, the rubber strap for it and see how that goes. It looks really attractive with the rubber strap. I'm not going to lie. Is it worth it? For me, it was. And actually, to be real, it was a Christmas gift from my husband and daughter. They got it for me. And I actually had a choice between this one and a Yachtmaster. It was really pretty. But at the time, I don't know. I know that some of you are going to be like, why didn't you get the Yachtmaster? What were you thinking? And, you know, I still really would love to have that Yachtmaster. Wink, wink, honey. But I, at the time, was like, you know, I have a lot of pretty neutral pieces. I don't really have anything that's bright and stands out. And my personality, once you get to know me and I get out of my little introverted shell, is a pretty fun, geeky, awesome personality, if I do say so myself. And I am very humble as well. So I wanted something that would be bright and fun. And so I was like, yeah, I'd rather have the orange Superocean. And they were like, really? Are you sure? And I said, yeah. And so that was one of my Christmas gifts this last year. The other one was my Blancpain State of Grace, or de Centre, which I have done another video on. Yes, this watch is worth it. As I said, I wear it all the time. I use the bezel for my timer. I love the lume, so I wear it to bed. It does well in the pool. I've worn it on several occasions swimming. I have no issue with that. This is a great watch. And if you are a woman who is looking for a nice dive watch, or if you are a man with a thin wrist, this is going to be a really good watch for you. I do recommend it. That's going to be all for this time. I'll see you next time and keep on telling time. Bye. If you like what you've been seeing, I have a simple request. I'm needing a new turntable, one that isn't so shaky. And if you feel like it, please donate so that I can get a new one. In the description, I'll put a link to my PayPal account. If you so choose, please help a girl out. Watch Whimsy. Like. Subscribe. Ring that bell.